It's over. It's over. It is the last episode of season 1 of Kim Kardashian's production of All's Fair Slop. It was supposed to be 10 episodes, but apparently it was condensed into 9 episodes because of scheduling conflict. Whose schedule? I don't care. So I just know that, with disappointment comes great disappointment. It's over. We made it. Now, as far as season 2, I don't recall seeing when it's going to start up. I cannot tell you if I'm going to review season 2, only because I really didn't do a full review of this season. I did the first 4 episodes, crying, bitching, moaning, complaining. Thank you for all who watched that. And then I realized that this show still had to continue, like the show must go on. So I decided to do the last 4 episodes, which is these now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 episodes, which is today, the 5th, just to cap this off. Because when I heard that they were actually getting a second season somewhere in after episode 5, after my crying and bitching and moaning and, having a heart attack on the floor, I said, okay, I got to pull myself together, Lena, and I have to review the show because my whole platform is Lena rates TV and movies. I didn't say good ones. I just said rate. I think I'm going to have to change my channel name to just Lena. Would you mind if I do that? Because I don't know how much more rating of this minutia and crap and slop that we have got coming on. And I have a funny feeling that there's going to be a lot more. So the new year it might just say Lena. Lena does whatever. Something like that. I'll figure it out. I'll chat GPT. Figure out a good snappy title. So let's get into this dark humor comedy show, as they put it on Disney Hulu. I think I'm going to consider canceling my subscription to Disney as well. I just don't see any value in it anymore. I don't want to. I don't want to keep it. I look at all the titles that are on there and I'm like, no, 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 no. So why do I have it? I have no idea. New year, it's going to be a new flush. It's going to be a new thing. Netflix, I'm coming for you too, because you're another one that's pissing me off. Okay. Let's set up the scene for this season finale. Not series finale, season finale. The scene opens with Sarah's character, Wicket, as I like to coin the phrase, because I refuse to really remember these characters' names because they're literally all ridiculous. So as we go on, we're just going to interject whatever name that pops into my head that fits the scene. At this point, she's playing Wicket, the Wicked Witch of whatever, East, West, all of them. All of them. She is being visited by her psychologist, and we come to find out that she's been in therapy for 5 years at $400 a visit. And this woman makes office calls. So she's not in her office. The psychologist or psychiatrist came to her office, Sarah's office. Sarah is having a titty attack. She is expressing how angry she is, how upset she is, how hurt she is, that she's still pissed off about the whole 10-year endeavor, that they left her alone, and that she wants to kill them, pretty much. She wants to destroy them. She wants acts of revenge. And the poor doctor is like, you're a little crazy. And how about we put you on some medication? And Sarah says, I don't want antidepressants. I want to see them destroyed. I want to hang them by their Hermes scarves and feed them Farguar until they explode. Great plan. Like most homicidal maniacs, always starts with a plan, level-headed. And the doctor says that, no, not antidepressants. I want to put you on hormones because, hormones, you could be a little loopy because of lack of hormones. Now, I went through that stage and I would admit that I was a little loopy. I did not want to string anybody up in the streets and feed them cheese until they exploded. But, I'm different. So Sarah is like, so you want to pump me up with hormones to think that this, craziness that I got in my head is going to go away? No. And by the way, get out. And before she says get out, she tells her, oh, your job, because of patient-client privilege, is to help me plan my revenge against these crazy women. Okay. And she tells her, the doctor says, I came here because you had thoughts of homicide. And Sarah says, yes. And the doctor got scared. She goes, you're not part of the plan, but you keep it up. You might be. Get out. Now, at what point does a doctor should call somebody? Like the police. I understand client privilege thing, but if you are a doctor, at what point do you stop and say, I think this person might do harm to others? I should call someone. Just asking for a friend. Okay. So now we have a plan. So she sits back at her desk. Mind you, she's all in black and she's wearing black gloves. Mind you, this is California, sunny California, and it's like 400 degrees. No one's questioning her outfit. She sits behind her desk. She opens up one of her notebooks and she goes, revenge plan. Now she has it in a notebook. She's out to get them. And how do you ask? Well, she's going to go one by one. First up, she goes after Naomi's character. I guess she's the weakest link out of all of them. And she visits her at her office. And how does she set the plan? It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay. First, you go in there and you compliment the person you're about to attack, the prey, and you tell them that, you think that they're very smart and you like the way that, no matter what you throw at them, they come back with a quick response. I respect that. The prey is slowly withering. Second, you tell her that you remember the wedding and that you want to give her a gift. And the gift being, because she's British, a commemorative Diana Spencer plate, first edition. That means it's very hard to get. And because she's British, she remembers the wedding and she's very touched and moved by it because none of her friends, the three other ladies, understood her passion for Princess Diana. But Wicked knows this and she used it to bring down the prey one more time, another level. So now Naomi's like, oh, thank you so much. How else does she actually bring her prey into her lair? Well, it gets better. She tells her that she completely understands her and that, all the girls were making fun of her the day of the wake when she brought, the bagpipe team. And, that startled her because one of the things that we just found out last episode is that Naomi feels like she doesn't belong in this American sisterhood that everybody else has, and she feels excluded. And how does Sarah's character know this since she wasn't in the room? No clue. But she knows that she has a weakness, and not being included is the weakness. So she sets the stage to say, I understand you. And yes, they were making fun of you. One more nail. The coffin's not ready yet. One more nail. Well, two more, because there's a last nail that goes in. Fourth nail. Okay? How else does she get her prey to fall into her lair? Well, it gets better. She's looking at the laptop that Naomi's on because Naomi's looking for bridesmaid dresses, for the wedding for the guy that we barely know, that we don't know anything about, that we just saw twice. You know that one that she's getting married to? You know him. Remember? Mm-hmm. And she tells her, what kind of dresses are those? Are you trying to look like Kim's character? That's not you. That's Kim. And, Naomi's like, oh, she goes, you need to express who you want to be. This is your wedding. What did you dream of as a wedding? And I remember that your mother called you Liberty for something about in London, and just go with your gut. You don't want to look like Kim. Do you? Well, do you? That was it. Naomi felt safe. because that's how most prey feel before they're attacked. So Wicket leaves, and she goes, I respect you, and then I'm going to kill you. She leaves. So how does this all turn out for the little poor Naomi Prey? She decides to make up a brunch in the library conference room for the three other ladies. And she's announcing that one, she doesn't know out of the three of them who will be her bridesmaid. No, her maid of honor, not her bridesmaid. And all three of them are like, oh, it's okay. You can make a decision. And then each one of them trying to make a pitch of why they should be the maid of honor. And she goes, I'm not going to make a decision now. But I also brought you here so you can see your bridesmaid dresses. And they're so excited, and they all go off into their own rooms because apparently the conference room is connected. The library conference room is connected to each one of their offices. They come back wearing what I would like to call very fashionable, the British version of Little House on the Prairie wrapped in Stepford Wives ensemble. Okay? And they're all coming out, and they look ridiculous, and they know they look ridiculous, and they're just laughing it off as if they don't understand what they're wearing. Naomi, I really thought that she was joking when I saw this. I was like, oh, she's testing them to see what, Wicket was saying. Are they going to make fun of her? Well, they did. They made fun of the outfit, and then she's trying to explain, I'm going to accessorize. Vision this. Me coming out in a maid dress for me with flowers and dandelion. And I realized that she was serious. And they realized that she was serious as well. And they're like, okay, sure. If that's what you want, we are your soldiers, and we will wear this dress as no matter how ridiculous we look. That didn't happen. That she felt that was disrespectful. And then she mentions Carr, which is Wicket's name, was right. And they're like, oh, what does she have to do with this? She goes, you guys, you know what? I don't even know what she says. All I know is that she says that Carr was right. This was supposed to be one of her biggest days, and all of you poo-pooed on it. And she goes, and there's not a maid of honor in any of you. And she walks out of the room, and the girl's like, please, no, stop. We love you. And then apparently, Glenn Close's character, Spider senses were tingling because she just realized what was happening. And she looks as she walks out, and I'm like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Seriously. Okay. So the last nail on this prey coffin, we see Naomi going now to Wicket's office, Sarah, and she apparently now feels bonded with her. And she comes in, and Sarah has a traditional British tea serving food for her, and she's so impressed by that, and that she feels that she was right. The girls made fun of her, and that she's very hurt. And Sarah is trying to be very understanding. And you think that she would turn her against them? No. See, that's an amateur. That's an amateur psychopath. A real psychopath will do exactly what Sarah did. They love you. You love them. I've been watching you for years. You guys have something special. Go back to them and love them. So Naomi's like, oh, thank you. I'd never seen this side of you, and I wish I'd seen more, and there's more to you. La, 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 la. I am a sucker for your stupidity. Ay, señor de bebida coño carajo puñeta. And she walks out, and Sarah takes out her list and crosses off of it. One down, 3 more to go. Oh yeah, baby. 3 más. It's the day of voting. They are voting to see who, if Cars go, Wicked is going to be part of their partnership, and also vote about, Glenn being a partner as well. So they voted for her to be a silent partner. She has all the rights and abilities. She's the advisory, partner. Great. Sure. And now the secret vote. The secret voting is, do they let Wicked in or not? And, Nishi is like, why can't we just all talk about it? And apparently there's this thing that it's a voting for partners and it's secret and it's time tradition and yada, yada, yada. It's all just fluff and stuff to make this episode longer. So they all voted. And since there's 4 of them, 2 yes, 2 no, it's a tie. How do they break this tie? Couldn't tell you. All I know, in 48 hours, they got to come back and make a decision because one of them has to get their mind changed. So that's that. And each one of them are trying to figure out who voted no and who voted yes, because everybody's convinced that Glenn Close's character is a yes, because she's been fighting for this to happen since, the yonder years. Okay. So now it's between the 3 of them. Who did what? Great. The next thing we have is now we have Monotone Kim with Niecy Nash, and Niecy has a very strange wedding gift. She tells Monotone Kim that the program that she used to find out more about the person that attacked her, she used that program to get more background information on the one that Naomi's going to marry as sort of a wedding gift. So I don't know how she was going to present the background check to Naomi. Is it on an envelope? Is it a PDF? Is it a digital file? Like, how do you exactly wrap that shit up? Apparently, it digs into everything that you ever wanted to know. And, when she looks at it, Monotone Kim, she goes, oh my God, we have to tell her. They don't tell us anything. The next thing is that they're showing it to Glenn, and Glenn is like, what exactly are you looking at? And it's funny because exactly what I said, what exactly am I looking at in this show? It's like she reads my mind. Glenn was simpatico. So apparently, fiance of Naomi took out a high interest loan for his business, and he is about to collapse on the loan and that he will lose everything. But he never told Naomi, but he was pushing for a prenup, because that's the last time that I saw him. I've seen this guy twice, once at a beach and then another at a restaurant when he's shoving a prenup in Naomi's face. And he wanted the prenup to protect her because he was already about to default on this very high interest loan for his business. Okay. Sure. And now Niecy is asking, who's going to tell her? Okay. Sure. We'll go with that, because we pop back into Sarah's character. This is exhausting. Popping in the boom. So Sarah is meeting with Glenn for lunch. She goes over to her office and she is impressed by the size of her office. And she tells Glenn, literally in these words, that, wow, I plan to take the office next door, assuming that she's already going to be in and as a partner, and that she listens to beluga whales having orgasm as meditation. So you need to be forewarned. These are the words, people. I cannot make this up. So Glenn is apparently forgotten that they had a lunch date. Now, I don't know how true that is, because there's so much that happens afterwards. But she says, how about instead of us going out, we have lunch here? And she takes her into the conference room, because there's not many sets in this office. There's only a very few of them. And as she is serving her some fish, Sarah's trying to figure out, did she win? Is she going to be partner? And Glenn is just extending the whole process of explaining to her what she's about to explain to her, telling her that this meal, it was made by a chef that doesn't use a temperature gauge, and he has a nose that knows when the fish is ready because he has keen instincts and he doesn't need that. And I'm like, What? I saw it 4 times. I still fell asleep. Let me tell you, I'm looking good because I napped so well during this episode. You ain't got no bags on me, baby. I just may use this show to fall asleep better. See? I always put a positive spin. You can fall asleep to this episode and you can rest like a little baby lamb. So, as Sarah is trying to figure out what the hell's going on, just like the rest of us, she says, who was the one who voted against me or for me? I know I have a connection with Nishi because of that whole single mother thing, and I know you voted for me. So it's a cross between Monotone Kim and Naomi, her prey. And she's trying to figure out of two of them, which was the one. And then Glenn tells her, it was me. I did not vote for you. Sarah is destroyed. Because I literally saw the crazy go into her eyes. She's good. I'm telling you, she should win an Emmy. She should, just to be on the show. She deserves it. So, as she explains to Sarah why, because she realizes that the bridesmaid dress snafu was all her idea, when her spidey senses went off, and that she had been feeling sorry for her this entire time. And she mistook that because the love that she has for the other 3 girls was true love. And she realized that her feeling for her of it being feeling sorry for her was not love, because the other 3 saw something in Sarah that she refused to see, that she's a homicidal crazy woman. And since she's never noticed it until the bridesmaid snafu, not any time before that, now she's going to make it her mission to make sure that she does not make partner into this firm. And what does Sarah do? She gets up and she says this whole thing about the fish and the inkling and all the stuff was all a ploy. She goes, yeah, would you like for me to wrap this up for you so you could take it home? And Sarah throws a glass of wine to Glenn's face. I could not. It reminded me of Alexis Carrington from Dynasty. Dun, 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 dun. And Glenn just wipes it off and laughs. And she says she's going to make it her business to tell the girls before the 48 hours that she's going to rally for them not to allow her in. And off she goes. Sarah breaks down in this most horrific, I guess the whale version of crying. She is screaming and crying on the chair, hurt and dismayed. And then all of a sudden, like a light, like that, she stops because, crazy comes back. She had a momentary lapse of pain. And now, whatever plan, whoever was next on the list has now changed. Because now you could tell from her face that she's going to put a plan together to kill one of them. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, baby. So stupid. Okay. So now that, Wicket is mastering her second person on her list because she's already got Naomi, we have Monotone Kim visiting Naomi to tell her about her fiance and this loan. And, Naomi turns around and says, I'm so sorry. I'm going to fix the dresses. It was crazy for me to think like that. And you're going to be my maid of honor. You were always going to be my maid of honor. I'm like, I don't really care. And Kim's like, no, honey, I came to tell you something else. And she goes, what? And we never find out because she doesn't finish the sentence, of course. The next scene we have is we're back with Sarah, because I guess Kim already told Naomi what the problem was. And now she's visiting Monotone Kim to put her plan of revenge into action. Part 2. She goes to her office and Kim is she looks like an orange sherbet. I've given up with the fashion. I don't know what's happening. I just don't understand. How is that a law firm outfit? I don't know where she's going. She looks like Jennifer Lopez Madam Web outfit, or Web of Lies, or whatever the hell movie that was. It's utterly ridiculous. But it's orange and she's in it. So Sarah is telling her in her own dastardly way that she's very concerned about, Glenn, and that she's getting strange text messages from her. And she shows her the text message from Glenn's character, and it's stating that she sees her dead husband. He's still with her, and Kim is like, yeah, okay, sure. People see their dead relatives or people they love all the time, which I can concur. After my sister passed away, I still felt her presence. Did it make me go crazy? No, but I felt it. Don't judge me. So, she says, keep reading. And it says that apparently Glenn told Sarah in the text that if she wanted to expire herself, would she help? And that is what got Kim's attention. And, she says, oh my God, with the one reaction she normally gives, oh my God. And, and she goes, you know her more than anything else. This is what Sarah, she goes, yes, I do. And I'll talk to her. She goes, no, you all need to talk to her. Because, there's also the issue with the maid, the housekeeper. And she's like, okay, we'll all talk to her. And what was the issue with the housekeeper? We don't know. Because then we go and we have to deal with Naomi confronting her fiance. Because if that wasn't enough to snore you to death, here we go. He comes in with flowers and she tells him it's over. She's not going to get married. She found out about the loan that he took that was very high interest. He's about to default, and that she respects the fact that he tried to protect her by getting a prenup and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Literally, that's all I heard. She's telling him about love, and you don't trust me, and I know you try to respect me, and he's like, I tried, and and all of this is all because she's breaking up with him. But no, she needs a break, a reset, because without trust there's no love. So she puts her ring down, and she gives the ring, he puts it down, he goes, you're going to be in my life because we are on a break. The best Ross reaction I could give you from Friends. Okay? Because it's not a breakup. It's a break. It's a reset. And he puts the ring down and leaves. Now that should have been an emotional moment, but since I know nothing about these two, I haven't seen them together. I haven't seen them kissing. I don't know if they're living together. I don't know what's going on with them. I see no chemistry between them. They don't have any backstory, any front story, any middle story, nothing. I don't even know if they're living together. So this whole scene, I'm just sitting there. So what I remembered is what I'm giving you. That's all I can tell you. And all I heard was, I need a break. And immediately I thought of Friends. I was like, oh, here we go. Rachel. Next. It's time to confront Glenn's character and the character assassination that Sarah is trying to place on the three ding-dongs, because these are just as the same ding-dongs as we have in Just Like Crap. And I tell you why. They're all in their conference room. One of the other sets that's there. This time not the library, a real full-fledged conference room with window shades that turn on and off when you walk in. I noticed that because I work in an office and I notice these things. Glenn comes, and not only is Ding Dong 1 Monotone King, Kim, Prey, Naomi, Nisi, who is a private investigator that can investigate anything and anyone because she has a new program. Sarah's there. And Glenn is wondering, why is she there? And she will not have this meeting as long as she's sitting there. Because remember, in Glenn's mind, she's already rallied the girls to tell them about the fact that this woman is a predator. So I don't know which character said that some concerns have been raised about your mental health. and that we're here to talk about it, and that Sarah says that you text me, and you said this thing about Doug, and she says, she's denying everything. I did no such thing. She looks at the text. She says, I was hacked, and she laughs, and she goes, oh, really? And, the girls are asking, well, do you feel that Doug is still with you? Do you talk to him? Do you see him? All of this in front of Sarah. And wait for my epilogue because it's coming. Okay? Don't leave. As they start interrogating her about her feelings about Doug, about the text message, and the fact that the physical abuse, and Glenn is like, what physical abuse? Sarah brings in the housekeeper, who, by the way, she can't get her name straight. Now, I don't even remember. I think her name is Esperanza, but, Sarah keeps calling Esmeralda, and it's been a running joke since the beginning that she cannot get this woman's name straight, and she keeps doing this to her. So I'm going to say Esperanza is her real name, and she tells the story. Oh, wait, before she even tells the story, one of the other issues is that Sarah saw a bottle of pills that are taken for dementia. And Glenn is furiously saying, no, you didn't see that in my medicine cabinet. First of all, it's like what I told you. Why do you invite people in your house? And when you do, hide your shit. I've done told you this. How many times I told you? You don't come to my house. I don't know you. I don't care who you are. And if you do, I'm putting stuff away in a safe. So as she is explicitly telling her, Esperanza comes in to tell the story about one of the nights that I remember this one, that Glenn broke everything when she found out that her husband was dying and there was going to be no other treatment. I don't remember what happened next. I just remember that Glenn gave a performance and she was crying, and that apparently the housekeeper came and she got upset with her and she grabbed her by her neck, and she shows the scar of the grabbing of her neck. And, Glenn is like, I never did this to you. Why are you doing this? And she realizes that Sarah, she tells her, you must have paid her. She goes, I would not. And she goes, then you must have threatened her family with deportation. And she says, no, then you must have paid her because this never happened. Remember, she still thinks that she's on the dementia pills. She's ready to set the scene for the other ones to see what's going on here. Mm-hmm. So, Sarah's like, no, I didn't pay her, and there's not enough amount of money I could, because I saw your will, because you gave it to me when you were, in mourning with Doug in the bed, and you left 80% of everything to your housekeeper. Everybody in the room, even the housekeeper, even Glenn, she said, I did no such thing, and she pulls out the will. She goes, are you telling me that that's not your handwriting? Glenn looks at her with that dastardly fatal attraction. Yes, but I don't remember doing this. Okay. It's time for Esperanza to go, and she's crying, saying, oh my God, I love you, Mrs. whatever her name is, and I'm so sorry, and off she goes into Never Never Land. And now we have Glenn sitting down, questioning if she really did hurt her, if she really did any of these things, because the ladies are interrogating her and she's like, I've been exhausted. I haven't been myself. I've been hiding everything. And, it's been hard since Dougie left, and she started to cry, and Naomi's, coming up to her and holding her, and she's breaking down, and she's like, it could have happened. I don't remember. And remember, all of this is already plugging into the game that Wicked is playing. And she's starting to break down. And none of these ladies, other than Naomi, gets up to console her. They're all just listening to her. Okay? The next thing we see is that we have the police officer that was in the previous episode interrogating Nisi and the other girls about the guy that attacked Nisi, and that it's now a murder investigation. So as she's walking through the hallway, we're still confronting Glenn with her breakdown. And then as we're trying to figure all this out, the woman comes in, the police officer with two other officers, and Kim is like, Not right now. Do you have to do it right now? They gave her more than 2 lines. She goes, yes, we do. She tells Glenn that she's under arrest for the murder of the guy that attacked Nisi. All the girls, even Sarah, was shocked. Okay? And she's asking her, do you understand these rights, as she's reading her rights? And of course, Glenn is looking at Sarah, and she goes, she knows that she had something to do with this. The other 3 are on the other side of the table, just holding each other, while Sarah's sitting on the chair. They're taking Glenn away. And as they're taking Glenn away, these girls do nothing. They don't say anything, Glenn. We're going to come downtown with you, or where the hell they take her. I always say downtown because that's what most cops say. We're taking you downtown. I like procedurals, okay? And they're just standing there. And I'm like, shouldn't one of you say, hey, don't say anything without your attorney present. We're going to get your attorney. We're going to represent you something. Anything? Nothing? Nothing? No, we're going to say nothing? Nothing. 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 Y'all could be lawyers when it's convenient, but when it's time for one of your mama bear is getting arrested, you don't even walk the walk with her. They walked her out of the building, and that's it. Now we go back to Sarah, who's in her office. She opened up her notebook, and she crosses Dina's name off the list. Worst Santa Claus list ever. She has a list, and she's crossing it off. Not checking it twice. Crossing people off the list. And that's how it ends. They arrested Glenn for the murder of the guy that attacked Nisi, that was found dead. I don't see any reaction from any of these girls to jump into action and go either downtown with her, represent her, talk to her, console her. And here we are with the epilogue. Listen, this is bullcrap. Okay, let me tell you why. In no way, shape, or form am I going to believe that the way that they've played this season, that Glenn is the mama bear and she's been so close to these women, that they would allow a psychopath like Sarah to not only be in the room and interrogate her about whatever they think they know, that they would not take the 5 minutes, especially Nisi, who's supposed to be a primo investigator, okay, to confirm all the crap that this woman, with between the will, the text messages, and whatever she thinks she found in her medicine cabinet, and even speak to Esperanza, whatever the hell her name is. You're going to tell me that the Nisi's character can go and find out all the dirt, not only about the guy that attacked her, but the man that Naomi's going to marry, down to his personal records and loan information. She could not figure out, because remember, she's a private investigator and she used to work in the police force as well. Okay. She couldn't go and say, you know what? We kind of know this woman's a little loco poco, because she's not only proven herself that she is crazy, and every episode that we've seen, let me confirm some things. Let me do some checking. And on top of that, even if they don't want to do the checking, you're going to let this crazy woman in your room and interrogate Glenn, the woman that has been supporting you this entire time, and not one of you confronted her by yourself to say, this is what's going on. You put her under the interrogation light and treated her as if she was some sort of stranger off the street. And what none of this made sense. This was the worst ending ever. Because how can you play this off as if they love her so much and then treat her as if she was persona non grata? Like that. Because Wicked showed you a few things. Let's start with that. The whole thing about her getting arrested, who didn't see this coming? I did. I knew it wasn't going to be one of the girls. It was just stupid. And they try to make it as if it was such a big shock. I'm like, And it could be that Sarah's character actually put this into the cop's head. That's what it seems like it is. Sarah's character. Well, she's the only one that's interesting. She has emotion. She has range. She's a wonderful crackpot. I think that she should replace the Wicked Witch of the East or West on Broadway for Wicked because she does a hell of a job. She is Cruella de Vil as well. She's the only one, other than Glenn, who has depth and character and plays off her mental instability really well because she's a veteran actress. Sure. She's the only entertaining thing about this. Her storyline is completely ridiculous. The reasoning why she wants to get revenge after 10 freaking years, it's beyond contempt now. It's like your doctor, your psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever the hell she is, should really be putting you in the loony bin. And it seems like it's very contrived. And since they don't know what else to write or how else to make any sense of this, it's not like she left them 10 years ago. Okay, fine. She's made a name for herself. She has an all office. She's doing really well. You honestly, I mean, what is the purpose of her mental stability then? Then give me some depth about her brain. I don't know. Scan it. And this thing about crossing off a list and her revenge plot and all this, I'm like, wow, you guys are bored and boring. Like, there's so many other ways to tell stories. To me, and Naomi's character and the boyfriend, fiance, we're on a break. The Ross of Rachel has no meaning at all. No meaning. Nisi, I don't know what's going to happen with her. I really don't care. Here's the problem. This season to me feels more like it should be the season 2. I'll tell you why. If they had properly set up season 1, where we were going through the journey of these women and see how it was working at that other law firm that they left, how crazy Sarah was, the way that they explicitly said it in the first opening scene of episode 1. See that whole journey about when it finally came together, and like season 1 would have been the before, and then this would have been season 2, because then it ties into the 10 years later. It still would have been stupid, but we could have connected with the character a little bit better and the characters, because we saw what happened to them at the other law firm and what culminated into their reasoning of leaving and opening up this ridiculous law firm that has no dress code whatsoever. This could have been a season 2, because then we would have had more of an understanding. Why is Sarah so bat crack crazy? I don't think they would have done it well, but I'm just thinking out loud, because this feels to me like everything was so rushed. I'm supposed to care about all these people. I'm supposed to know their backstory. I'm supposed to understand that, Naomi came from Britain and that she doesn't feel that she belongs there. When did all this happen? I'm like, what? And that it was always you, Kim, since I've known you for so long. I've only known you for 5 episodes. I don't know you. And, this turn play about how they turned against Glenn, it still wouldn't have fit the profile because it doesn't make any sense. So that's it. That'd be my epilogue. I didn't like it. I haven't liked it. Never have, never will, never. Even if on rewatch, it's still stupid. They could have done something better. I don't feel empowered. I don't feel that this is representing anything. Girl power, power, attorney, law, dramedy, comedy, drama, whatever. Stupid. And this is where my subscriber money is going to. I'm so proud to be sharing. I'm canceling my Disney subscription. It's official. Now that I think about it, finito. So, this weekend, Sex and the City, last episode of season 2. See how it brings a smile to my face? I hope it brings a smile to your face too, because we're going to end the year with opening up the year 2000 together. Together forever. Together. I have to sing. Okay? I will be moving officially by the end of January. I've got the date. So in between there, February will be a new location for me. Oh, I'm scared. I want you to please thank you for watching, subscribing, sharing, hyping, comments. I love it all. Don't stop. Help me, help you. Help me, help you. We're going to rate more movies and TVs, okay? Think of a new name. I'm just going to put Lena. That's all. That's just Lena. And see how that goes. That's going to be my new name for the new year. Hopefully I can change it on YouTube because, you know how YouTube is. It's a little finicky. Let me know how you felt. Was this funny for you? I want you all to have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day, week, weekend, month, and from here to everyone that I reach around the world. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Mwah. Besito.